It is tea time. Be on how tea time.
Yep.
So I believe I set this up correctly. So on the left is the younger Walong 2018.
It certainly looks like it is much lighter.
Yep. And then the Chawangshu on the right. And two BYH Productions just did a Dennysodes also with the, hold on, I'm going to do it. Jonja Liangza. Yeah. I'll take that, internet. Yeah, I should probably have this around here. So I think that's probably a good enough view to James's point. Yep, definitely a lot darker on the right here. And it's not just the light. Quite a bit of difference in terms of the leaves here. We're doing 3 grams, 50 milliliter gallons.
Yep.
Give it some little rinse here.
And these are from the jade leaf. Mm-hmm. So what's this ratio is a little bit lighter for you? Any particular reason? Just mixing it up?
Yeah. Also, being honest about it, just some stomach stuff. So when I have some stomach stuff, I just tend to lighten it up a little bit. Okay. It's a little bit nicer on my guts overall. Okay. Yeah. So nothing too crazy really. Zoom out here for a second. How you doing, brother?
I am well. And so you recently had the Zhangjiang Liangzi on a Dennysodes, which has yet to be in release, so I haven't watched it yet. Mm-hmm. How was it?
It was amazing. It's definitely, I think, a little bit bolder. It's much greener, obviously, and younger. I think it actually has maybe a little bit more boldness than the actual Iwu itself.
The 2004 Iwu.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's got. I was surprised by how much like undercurrent strength it had.
Yeah.
It smells great. Very, very sweet. Wow. There's a raspberry character to that is really prevalent.
A little bit of that dark wood coming in too. Mm-hmm. Dark wood, plum maybe as well.
Ooh. Very different. A little more vegetable than me. Something in there.
I could see it, yeah, even though it's the older tea.
Yeah.
It does have a very different nose, less on the fruit, more on maybe the sugar cane.
Yeah. Good way to put it. Okay, and slide them all back over here. Take a look at the wet leaf now. And we can see here imperfectly. Let's do this a little bit. You can pause, everybody. But you can definitely see there the color difference. Pretty striking. And again, just, yes, the light is closer to the right, which would actually lighten the tea up a little bit, if anything. But yeah, should be able to. And we're not talking like one is bright green and one is red, obviously, just for folks out there. But yeah, pretty noticeable.
Yeah. I mean, one is twice the age of the other one. 8 years versus 16 years.
Exactly. So it's funny. I actually feel like I kind of gauge ages based on how close they are to 2005. It's like my default. And I'm sorry for the huge in the way here, but it's kind of my default now. That's like my benchmark year of like, okay.
Is that because of when we graduated?
No, it's just I feel like there's a lot of things that happened in teen 2005. A lot of my stuff that I look for is post 2005 because it's cheaper. I try to buy samples of stuff that's pre 2005 because it's more, coveted and sought after. So
I mean, it was that year is a very dramatic change in terms of pu'er, so that whole period.
Indeed. This one probably another, like I did the first one there, maybe 5-10 seconds extra.
Yeah.
Get into the meat and potatoes here. Both of these have a very similar color liqueur. I'll go ahead and get that shown off for everybody here. And we'll zoom out a little bit. See if we can show that off. It's not too visible. Let's go ahead and get James's cup here. So this is going to be the
Walong. Yeah. So Walong is one of the Manzuan villages, and the Yunhao has a long history of pressing from Manzuan, so no shock that they would have some productions from this area. Mm-hmm.
And you've enjoyed their Manzuan more than the Iwu.
Yes.
Yeah. The 2005 Manzuan more than the 2004 and 2005 Iwus, right?
The 2004 Manzuan is what I have more reps.
Got it.
But I did recently pick up a couple of 2005 Manzuan, so I'm starting to get reps. I've only had it like a couple times though. So.
Got it.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. You taste the age?
Yeah, it's nice. It tastes older it doesn't taste, it's not as off-puttingly young as you might think. It already is developing some of those kind of aged notes that I associate with aged Bienhal Manzan. Like kind of a dark, woody, maybe slightly brassy tone to it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sweetest character for me is the thing that I noticed the most kind of through line for all the teas. This one definitely has the most green character for it, for sure. Although, again, I would kind of categorize some of these younger iwus, younger teas in general, pu'er teas. They have sometimes a floral sweetness. Sometimes they have kind of more of a bright fruity sweetness. For me, this one is a little bit less floral, more fruity.
I agree. Yeah, it's definitely more in the fruity vein.
Right, but we're not into that deeply developed wood.
Not yet. Right. But you can tell that's probably where it's going.
Yeah. And it's not super funky. The bass notes on this, it's not like the 502 Double Lion, maybe 5 years before it was ready or something like that, where it's just like potent, peaty, bassy, intense.
Yeah.
This is like it's obviously tastes like pu'er. It's strong, there's some bitterness for sure.
Sure.
But also it's got a very nice softness to it.
Yeah.
Nice. This is great. And when you're having something this young, James, how are you figuring out how to evaluate? Oh, we got the mic in here. There it goes. TV! How are you figuring out how to evaluate these ones? Because these kind of tweeners for us, like, they're a little bit harder for me to figure out how to.
I don't know.
2010, probably one of the beginning years where I'm like, okay, I'm
kind of
closer.
The range,
yeah, much closer.
Because like a lot of people in the tea world, we drink a lot of tea between, 2004 and 2012, something like that, I would say. I mean, it's a challenge. I think I got to ease back into it a little bit, but you're trying to get past some of the characteristics that are more on the front side in terms of just like greenness and more like evaluate quality of aftertaste, how big it is, the body is, and things like that. Things that aren't necessarily going to go away overnight, whereas like the individual flavor notes might.
And when you say how big it is, I kind of intuitively feel like I know what that means, but for folks out there, what do you mean by that? Like,
just the body of it, as well as just like the mouthfeel and texture. Like I remember the 501 7542 had just a real strong, pungent mouthfeel, even though it was like 21 years old, and something along those lines. Yeah.
Cool. Got it. Yeah. Even for an iwu tea, you still want it to be, as you said, big. You still want it to have a lot there.
Yeah, it's good to have that.
Totally.
Like if you're thin and narrow, that's not necessarily a good thing.
Yeah, literally. And we're talking like texture, mouthfeel. We're talking all of the attributes. Okay. Cheers.
Cheers. Well, this one is far more kind of what you just talked about. The floral. The body is, I think, even bigger than the previous one.
Very cozy. Interesting. Yeah, I agree. The fruit not as much on this one. Still the sweetness there, definitely.
Definitely.
But yeah, the fruit a little bit softer on this. And yeah, a little bit more floral. In terms of like immediate first impressions, even with the age included, would you pick one or the other?
I think I tend to lean towards the Manzan. I like that kind of dark, woody character it seems to be moving towards.
I kind of think I'm the same way, honestly.
But Chawangshu is not bad, and I really do need to brew it a couple times to see.
The sweetness on it's really nice. Again, really tasting the house taste for me. Yeah, that's kind of what, I was talking to James on Slack the other day, yesterday, about what I want the rest of my tea year to look like. And the last 18 months have been just like deep dive, super into it, but it's been factory tea primarily, which is great. And then got a couple of nicer boutique cakes this year. Have bought a couple last year, but nothing really. Well, I like the lingo and the Jincho today actually, but nothing super ready yet. So, yeah, I'm trying this year to understand more house tastes, I guess, beyond just like Shagwan.
Yeah.
Fata Shagwan and Dai.
Yeah.
Which are great. And I'm happy to have the vast majority of my stash be.
I mean, and if you're trying to understand pu'er, the Shagwan and Dai are more representative of the category as a whole than like, I don't know, some random ass boutique, even if the random boutique has better material. So
Yeah.
That's part of the case I would make in favor of factory pu'er.
The Walong there.
Yeah.
And you can see even with 3 grams in there, that one's filled up pretty well.
Smells nice. I mean, honestly, this is like shockingly nice for something that.
Yeah.
Like this is well out of the range. Like,
but it's Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Zhangjiao Liangzi. That is, I think, the youngest cake that I'm gonna put in my rotation. And that's 15 years old. This is like a good 7 years younger than that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I would put this in my rotation, but it's
that's
tasty
fair,
today. It's fairly easy to drink today. Really nice.
And it'll probably age like most of the B and how Manzans do pretty well.
Yeah. Here, back here again. We'll try to get back into that.
So on the first steep, are you preferring the Walong?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's do this. Like that. Yeah, I am at this point.
Okay. And I would say also, just because we almost considered adding a third tea into here, neither tea has so far the overall like richness of the Zhangjiao Liangzi, which is like kind of a weirdly incredible tea.
Yeah.
It's just like very rich.
Yeah, it's so strange.
Like a full bouquet of stuff.
Yeah. If it's so soft.
Yeah.
That's the thing that gets me. I think that's like truly where like Iwu becomes like perfect is it's still a 10 and 10 it's still big, as you said. It's still a 10 and 10 in terms of the volume of the things that you're experiencing. Again, you're not trying to have, it's not metal music like Double Lion where it's supposed to be loud and intense. It's supposed to be chill.
Finish metal, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, death metal. But it's supposed, but playing this music well, doing this tea well, it's supposed to have a quiet, softer complexion, but still it has so much oomph in it. I agree with you. I think these are probably one full point lower than that tea,
Sure.
and then of course the Iwu as well. This one to me, just sitting here and enjoying it, still, they still have enough of the green character that, yeah. So would you put this for the Walong here? Would you put this one closer to a young Iwu or closer to a semi-aged Iwu?
Honestly, I would have probably before this said probably young, but the way it's moving, I'd say more semi-aged at this point. This next steep is a fair bit more bitter, but it's like fast converting bitterness, so it's pretty forgivable.
It's nice.
I do like it, yeah.
I agree. Yeah, it definitely is stronger, and I'm pushing them fairly hard here.
Yeah. So I guess what I would say about the Walong is if I did not have as much tea as I do, and as many different options to drink, and if I was building something from scratch and I had a cake of this, I would drink it.
Fair enough. I see what you mean.
But because I do have other options, I probably wouldn't drink it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I feel you on that. But definitely nice.
Yeah.
Okay, Chawangshu, here we go.
Cheers.
Cheers. Brewed with a bit more intensity, this style that we're doing for evaluation here, definitely stronger, but in tasting the pu'er tea on this, much more bitter, but still, I'd say quite a bit softer than the Walong.
Yeah, it's a little less bitter for sure. It's also thick. I think this tea would probably be the interesting comparison with the Zhangjiao Liangzi, but I think my take right now would be that the Zhangjiao Liangzi might blow it out pretty good.
I think so. That one also, well, actually, that one's a year older.
Yeah, this is very
that's
close.
Crazy. Yeah, I think
the Chawangshu is a year older. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I think the difference for me is pretty night and day, and I prefer a less. I don't want to call this one a green profile, but because it's not. I don't know. It's
in some ways it tastes greener than the Walong.
Yeah.
But I think that's just more of the profile differences.
Yeah, definitely fun. It surprises me how it's possible to find the through line of the house taste in all these teas, right? I mean, that's just where I guess these are all single sourced, right?
I mean, they're all B&L, yeah. Yeah.
But they're not doing any blending between.
I mean, they do blends. The 2004 to 2006 Iwu and Manzans are blends.
Okay.
Of like different villages.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then like they follow the general trends. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, it's possible there's like two different gardens in Walong and they've mixed them together. I don't totally know.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But
fair.
I mean, we're talking single village, so it's relatively less blended. That part is
for sure
probably true. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just interesting because I feel like there's a through line of character of these teas. sitting here though, that definitely compared to the other ones, I'll try it again. Chawangshu.
The problem is, like, online you abbreviate it to ZJLZ, but that's kind of a mouthful to say too.
Yeah.
ZJLZ. It sounds weird too. It's like, what do you mean? Oh, that Chinese Iwu village from 2011. Okay, got it.
Well, we're doing all of these with pretty intense steepings here.
Yeah.
But a good way to evaluate them. The one thing I will say is, and I think you can see it on the camera, the color of these still does kind of betray. Well, I wonder. So, if you could recall, would you say that this looks about the same color as the
It looks almost lighter to me.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but I will also say that these samples, I don't have a full counting of when I got them.
Sure.
So it's possible that one is a few years old and
Yeah.
one of them is more recent.
Right.
I just don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really. When we chatted about, or rather, we chatted. I was thinking while watching James's most recent in-between episode about the green Washington only storage.
Oh yeah.
And just like where that ends up.
I mean, I'd rather drink both of these by a long shot.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I'm hoping, wow, these look actually kind of different, I'd say.
Yeah. Well,
I'm hoping that I end up getting to a place where, yeah, my samples are the only thing that's going slowly. It's a little bit darker, for sure.
Well, you know what's interesting is I actually filmed an episode last week, so it's definitely not out yet, on the storage of a 2004 B&L Monton that I just got from Taiwan at some point, and versus one that I've stored for 8 years.
Oh wow, very interesting.
And kind of that house perfume note ages out that you sometimes get in those fresh cakes and. From the one that I have.
That you have.
And then it's just a little bit greener. Yeah, so there is definitely a difference in terms of how it's aged. But yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, we're going to do the Chawangshu one more time here.
Would you say your preference is still leaning towards the Walong?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, even with the harsher character, it's definitely less enjoyable now, I'd say, but also I prefer the profile more now.
I think the T caliber is probably roughly the same.
I think so too. And I can get
you could even say the Chawangshu is a better T technically, but
that's
I prefer the Walong, I think, by somewhat of a margin.
And that'll be based on more about the hype around origin preference as opposed to the actual material, looking at it directly here.
I actually don't know what either one costs, but I kind of think the Chawangshu might be more.
I've had a ZSL Chawangshu.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I had that when I was in Mexico. Actually, I never said I was Mexico, but I did say I was in Mexico. I was saying like aloha or whatever. Not aloha. I was
Aloha.
Aloha. Anyway, yeah. Sorry. I remember it well though.
Aloha, Mexicans.
It was also quite green. But that was a younger one too. I think that was a 2017 one.
Yeah, and the what's Junsa Long storage is going to be drier than the Taiwanese that the B&L is.
Right, that's the complaint supposedly. Look at the color, quite a bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
Man, it's fun to riff with you and do this stuff, dude. Like, I really wish for everyone out there who's a tea nerd, I think it can probably be pretty like solitary, and to get nerded out and just be like, wow, man, admiring the color of the difference of the leaves. Yeah, it's a little pretty nerdy.
It is, yeah. Well, honestly, the one with the darker leaves presents lighter, so that's the.
Which is true, actually. Yeah.
It's just, I think it's just the character of Monzon, where it's a little bit leaning towards that darkness more quickly.
Get in there. Yeah. jleaf.com. Go get these.
Yep. And you can see a photo of Emilio in the package, or well, a drawing, probably a self-portrait or something.
There he is.
There's the man.
The man himself.
The myth.
Cheers.
Cheers. I just smell this one. I can tell I like it more.
It's weird.
It's just like
It's almost like sweeter.
it's
crazy.
It's a less subtle tea. It's a pretty straightforward tea, but I do find it very.
Yeah. The first impression is immediately just like, I like this one quite a bit.
Yeah. I think it's the better beginner tea too.
Okay, cool. Well, hey, love every single one of you who watched this, and everyone who didn't watch it. I hate you with every ounce of my being. Every single one of you.
It's a lot of hate.
I'm turning to the dark side.
Yeah.
Dark side.
And if you ask Denny what his shirt means, he hates you. And it says Shinjuku t-shirt.
The number of people who ask me what this shirt means is shocking.
You've worn it a lot.
I do wear it.
I gotta say, we've been asked it like
anthem.
a couple dozen times.
Yeah. It's like my anthem shirt. Anyway, subscribe, click all the buttons, and we'll see you guys next time.
Cheers.
Peace.